Welcome to Hypnotic Authenticity. My name is Chris. I'm a practical, grounded hypnotherapist. I'm based in Switzerland, and this is a space that I have created to foster a genuine sense of inner settling, a place to harmonize with yourself and bring about the improvements to your well-being that, I don't know, maybe perhaps you thought were literally impossible. So my episodes are an invitation to reconnect with all that is alive inside you, to examine the stories that you live your life by, and to maybe soften the edges of what it is that you believe yourself to be in order to create a bigger, broader, more expansive sense of your personal agency and your personal understanding. So I'm going to be talking about identity, about existence, about self-resonance, self-harmony, about authenticity. And that'll all be wrapped up with a sprinkling of hypnosis or guided meditation to help you settle, to help you align and return to yourself. So if you're ready, take a breath and let's begin.
I'm going to offer you a way of finding peace inside of yourself whenever you need it. So we're going to do this hypnotically. It's not necessary to do it hypnotically, but it's quicker, it's easier, because your mind isn't engaged in second guessing what's going on at the same time. So it just tends to be more effective. But if you want to do it just with your eyes open as an imaginative process, that might work too. It probably won't work quite so well, but it'll still work. So what I'm going to offer you, in actual fact, is a tool that you can use at any point in the future when you need to find a space of calm and serenity inside of you. So you could use this for anger management, you could use it for frustration, you could use it to bring yourself into a state of clarity and focus. You could use it if you find yourself engaging in a compulsive habit and you want to stop. You can use this as a trigger. So all we're going to do is create a trigger, an anchor in your body. Now, what I'll do is I'll make the trigger just kind of pressing a finger and a thumb together. But you can choose whatever you want, okay? So if it makes sense for you to choose something that somehow or other is more engaging to you, then feel free to, at that point, pick whichever anchor you choose to do. But the idea with this is that you can bring this into play whenever you choose to do so. Okay, so imagine that you're in the workplace and someone is having an argument with you or trying to get you into an argument, and you can feel the tension growing up inside of you. So you want an anchor that you can do very, very subtly without anybody else really noticing. You could put your hand in your pocket, you put your finger and your thumb together, and you bring around a sense of complete serenity whilst the other person is trying to bait you, as a simple example. Okay, so that's the principle. So I'm going to do it with a finger and a thumb, but you can pick whatever you want. So if you're ready, standard health warning applies, obviously. Please only listen or watch or pay attention to my words when it is completely safe and appropriate to do so. Do not pay attention to my words whilst you are driving, whilst you are operating machinery. Only do so when it's completely safe and appropriate to do so. Set yourself aside maybe 15 minutes or so. This should be a relatively quick process. But what I'll do is I will invite you to enter into a state of very, very calm, crisp, simple-mindedness. If you want to call that hypnosis, be my guest. You might want to call it a state of heightened awareness. It's equally that. You might want to just kind of bathe in the zen of this beauty which is behind me and find a meditative state of bliss, whatever you choose. But the idea is to lift your mind so it's no longer checking in and making sure that everything is going the way it should and all that kind of nonsense. Instead, you're just open to a sense of curious anticipation. You're going to create something which is in your best interest that you can use whenever you choose to do so, and whenever you don't choose to do so, you forget about. Yeah. So with that in mind, maybe you want to ask yourself, would I like to bring myself into a state right now of complete bliss, complete calm, complete simplicity? and then to emerge from this process with a tool that I can use whenever I choose to do so. And bearing in mind that every time you use the tool, you'll get better and better and better at it, and it'll become quicker and easier until it's an automatic habit that you can just use whenever you want. And the most amazing thing with that, of course, is that suddenly you have an inbuilt superpower. You can, whenever the feeling comes up inside of you, be it a racing heart or a sense of anger or frustration or whatever, you can bring this along and bang, you're back in your Zen moment. So if you said yes to any of that, then I'm going to invite you to enter into a hypnotic state. Now, anything can invite you into a hypnotic state. So you might want to pay attention to my words. You might want to fix your attention on a particular spot, maybe the beautiful river down there, or one of the peaks. You might want to just, kind of focus on a finger or a thumb. You can even, if you choose to do so, which is quite effective, is you can look at your index fingers and then just kind of gaze at a spot which is about a centimetre or two in front of your index fingers, because there's nothing there. So that's a wonderful way of bringing yourself into a very simple state of calm. But however you want to do it, what I would do is start with an eyes open process, and then whenever it feels right to you, just close your eyes in the knowledge that you'll be able to open your eyes whenever you choose to do so. Okay. So with that in mind, focus on one of these beautiful places, or focus on your index fingers or a centimetre or two in front of your index fingers, but gaze intently at whatever it is that you choose to gaze at. Gaze at it as if you were going to pay so much attention to it that you'd be able to describe it to a friend next week. So really, really notice what you notice. And I don't know if you're like me, but already by doing that, I can feel a sense of stillness inside of me. I can feel it in my chest, I can feel it in my stomach, I can feel it in my spine, I can feel it in my legs. And so maybe you actually want to do a quick scan of your body. Notice the support of whatever it is that you're sitting on or laying on. Notice the texture of the material that's touching your skin, whilst keeping your gaze on whichever place it was that you chose to fix your attention. And as you do so, maybe you can notice your breathing. With every breath that you breathe in, you can notice the temperature of the air as you breathe in. And you can notice the temperature of the air as you breathe out. Maybe you can allow your in-breath to maybe count to 4 on 1, 2, 3, 4, and hold the breath. And then as you breathe out, count to 8 on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Another good deep breath in. Hold the breath. And let that breath go. Still keeping your gaze on that place, wherever it was, even if your eyes are becoming very heavy, deeply relaxed. One more deep breath in. Hold the breath. And let that breath go. And if your eyes are still open, then just allow your eyes to close. Send a beautiful wave of relaxation from those eyelids as they close, all the way down through your body. All the way down, down to the tips of your toes. And with every breath in, you can breathe in peace. And with every breath out, you can breathe out any remaining tension, almost as if it's breathing out through the soles of your feet. Because it's easy to find the peace inside of you. And there's nothing to do here. There's nothing really to prove here. This is a moment just for you to relax, to look after yourself. And if you need to, you can shuffle around, you can loosen your shoulders. Maybe you can notice your cheekbones. Relax your cheekbones. Relax the muscles in your neck. Maybe shuffle around, relax the muscles in your shoulder. As you notice, your body can relax. And now I'd like you to bring your attention to those eyelids, because you can actually relax those eyelids to the point where just with your imagination they don't work. And so I'd like you to focus on your eyelids, and just with the power of your imagination, imagine those eyelids becoming heavier and heavier, heavier and heavier, loose and limp and totally relaxed. And when you're absolutely sure that those eyelids won't work, I want you to actually give them a test. Give them a test and prove to yourself that those eyelids won't work. And when you've proved that to yourself, you can stop testing and you can send a beautiful wave of relaxation all the way down to the tips of your toes. Powerful wave of relaxation rushing down through your chest, down through your torso, down through your legs, down to your feet. Completely at ease, completely comfortable, completely calm. And now in a moment, not now, but in a moment, I'm going to ask you to open and to close your eyes. And when you close your eyes back down, to double this feeling of relaxation once again. So now, just open your eyes, look out wherever you are or look at the screen. And then close your eyes down and send yourself even deeper. Every muscle, every fiber, every nerve quiet, loose, limp, totally relaxed. We'll do that one more time again now, so just open your eyes and close your eyes back down once again, doubling that feeling of relaxation in every muscle in your body. Just like a set of rubber bands tumbling to the floor. And maybe you just want to sit there in a state of quiet and calm. But we're going to do that one more time. Just open your eyes, look up, and close those eyes back down. Doubling that feeling of relaxation, completely at ease, completely calm, comfortable, loose, and relaxed. And your body can be completely still, completely calm. Maybe you can notice a tingling sensation in your ankles or in your feet. Maybe you can focus on how it feels in your left elbow. And then on your right elbow, how that feels. Because it's incredibly easy to focus on your inner experience when your body's quiet. But now we're going to invite your mind to join, to become just as calm, just as relaxed. And so I'm going to start counting backwards in a moment, and you can just follow along with me in your mind. And we'll start counting backwards from 100. And with each number that we count backwards, you can double the feeling of relaxation in your mind as well as in your body. And I wonder if you can imagine what it will feel like to double that feeling of relaxation with every single number, so that very rapidly you can't even be bothered to think of those numbers. Those numbers just relax away completely. And I wonder if you can imagine what that will feel like. Because I can't do that for you. You can choose to do that. You can send them away. And that is the moment of complete calm, complete simplicity. And so remembering that with every number you double the feeling of relaxation in your mind and your body. Let's start counting backwards now from 100, very slowly. 100. Deeper relaxed. Doubling that feeling of relaxation in your mind and in your body. Or 99. Doubling that feeling of relaxation in your mind and in your body. 98. Doubling that feeling of relaxation in your mind and in your body. Now just send them away. Let them be gone. So that you can just focus on whatever you're focusing on. Focusing on your inner bliss, your inner relationship, your inner calm, your inner serenity. With every breath, breathing in peace and breathing out any remaining tension. Perhaps you can imagine your perfect safe place, or maybe you can remember your perfect safe place. You can just imagine settling down there, completely at ease, completely comfortable, completely calm, completely safe. And what I'd like you to do whilst you're sat here in that safe place now is to remember a moment in your life when you felt completely at ease. Maybe the moment in your life when you felt more at ease than you've ever felt before. Completely at peace. As calm as you've ever noticed. And maybe it was a long moment, maybe it was a very brief moment, but whichever one comes to mind is completely correct. And I want you to be there in that moment. I want you to see what you saw. Because the more you think about it, the deeper you can go and the more intensely you can feel that sense of simple peace. Noticing what you're noticing. Was it daytime? Was it nighttime? Were you alone? Were you with other people? What was going on in the scene? What could you hear? What could you see? What could you smell? Noticing everything in that peaceful scene. Drilling into it. Focusing on whatever is most important, the difference that makes the difference in that peaceful scene. And when you're sure that you're there, that you're completely there in the moment, I want you to make that anchor. Press the thumb and the second finger on your left hand together. Press the thumb and the second finger on your left hand together. And notice how when you press those fingers firmly together, that sense of peace, that sense of serenity, that sense of self-assured simplicity can grow and grow and grow. And then you can let go, release the pressure on that thumb and second finger, and let that sensation drift away. And then imagine it once again, bring yourself back to that scene, deeply, deeply at ease, deeply serene and calm. Press that thumb and the second finger from your left hand together. Squeeze those fingers tight, establish that anchor, create that anchor, certain that you can bring back this sensation whenever you choose to do so. And then relax those fingers. Maybe you even want to shake them off. And imagine once again that scene of simplicity, that scene of calm or bliss or serenity or whatever it may be. Focus on that left hand. Press that thumb and second finger on your left hand together and supercharge those fingers with that feeling of complete simplicity, complete calm. Noticing where you feel that simplicity in your body. And knowing that whenever you choose to do so, you can re-establish this feeling just by pressing that thumb and second finger on your left hand together. To the point where, as you just relax those fingers, let's have a little bit of fun. Just open your eyes, look around wherever it is that you are. Notice what you notice about the scene. Give yourself a moment. Then press that thumb and second finger together. And notice that feeling in your body. Notice that feeling of peace, of calmness, of strength, of solidity, of self-assuredness, self-confidence, peace. However you would describe it as absolutely right for you. And then you can close your eyes again. Enjoy this moment of inward reflection, inward peace. Safe in the knowledge that you can create that feeling inside of you whenever you need to. Whenever there's a moment where you feel off, strange, triggered in whatever way, you can press that thumb and second finger on your left hand together and re-establish this feeling. And maybe as you do so, your eyelids are flickering. Maybe there's a certain sense of heaviness in your arms or a tingling sensation in the wrists. Maybe there's a warmth in your whole body. However it feels to you, I'm now going to bring you back up to a state of full awareness, but bringing with you this newfound skill, this new tool that you can choose to use whenever you wish to, and you can test it. You can test it in your own time. So I'm going to count up from 1 to 5, bringing you back up to a state of full and present awareness, feeling absolutely tremendous, feeling like you've had a wonderful night's sleep maybe. But bringing with you this tool that you can choose to use whenever you wish. So on 1 now, feeling absolutely wonderful. 2 now, to be able to use this tool, this thumb and second finger on your left hand, whenever you choose to bring about this sense of peace and calm and simplicity. On 3 now, feeling as free as a bird, free to soar above the hilltops, feeling as much as you can in this moment. On 4 now, it's like fresh spring water is bathing your eyelids, whooshing through your mind, bringing you back up to a state of full and present awareness. On 5, opening your eyes, taking in a good deep breath, having a bit of a stretch, shake off the feeling if you choose to do so, welcome back up to a state of full and present awareness, and I hope that's of interest. So basically, now that you're back alert, just press that thumb and second finger on your left hand together. And notice how easy it is to create that sense of peace. And imagine yourself, you can let go, imagine yourself in any circumstance that needs that sense of peace in the moment. Even if you just put your hand in your pocket so nobody knows, and you just create that sense of simplicity. I hope that's of interest. It's the sort of thing that you can get better at, so I encourage you to practice it. Practice it, if you practice it having watched the video, I don't know, 4 or 5 times a day for a few days, you're going to establish a new habit, which is so much easier then to use at the moment that you need it, because the point at the moment you need it is to be able to remember, aha, I have a tool. So the more that you habituate it, the better it'll become. Similarly, you know, if there's some kind of a compulsion and you don't want to do it, you know, you're overeating or whatever it may be, if you realize that you have a way to bring yourself back to a state of peace, then you're diverting your attention elsewhere, and then you no longer feel that sense of compulsion to the same extent.
Thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed the episode. If it resonates with you, then follow my podcast. I would also personally be really grateful if you might wish to leave a quick rating. It genuinely helps others to discover the podcast. If you personally would like more guided meditations, you want some deeper insights, you'll find all my links in the description. If you prefer a more visual boost, then you might want to check out my YouTube channel called Authentic Life Hypnosis. And if you're looking to do some deeper work that goes beyond one-way audio, then obviously you're very welcome to reach out. Equally, if you have any questions, I'm here to help. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode.